Welcome, my name's Specimen. I've just spent the last 5 minutes rambling on about this deck, so if you're interested in hearing what I've got to say, please do stick around. If not, timestamp in the description for gameplay. Check out the Gwent DB, subscribe if you are new. I've lots of plans for Gwent content. We've got a Road to Glory series coming soon, where it's packs only with a few twists, Gaunt to Odim inspired. However, less of that, let's get on with the video. Thanks so much for watching. Now this is a card you would not stereotypically see in a Sabrina deck. However, we may have just found the niche for him, and he could be the key to unlocking a really fantastic Sabrina deck that hopefully can get us to Grandmaster. It remains to be seen. It's really early doors. I've only played around 5 games with this deck on stream this morning, but I really wanted to get a video to you guys on YouTube. So, Strength of War, each player draws a unit and sets its power to 1. Why would that be good, you ask? Well, instantly you might notice, well, they're going to get a 1 strength unit, which is pretty good for Sabrina, right? However, it goes deeper than that. Vandergrift, deal 1 damage to all enemies, and if the unit is destroyed, apply a Ragnaru to its row. Incredibly good card when it can work, okay? And this deck is sort of built around this working in many ways. So, Sabrina, Iris, Thala, Dijkstra. That is 4 spies I am using in this deck that I was using in all of my Sabrina and Iris decks very recently. So, Stregobor can actually draw Iris, Sabrina, Thala, Dijkstra at 1 strength. So your opponent's getting a 1 strength unit, and you're getting a 1 strength spy. So that's 2 rows already of Vandergrift potentially you can get from this one play with Stregobor. So that's pretty cool. But it does go deeper than that still. It really does. So obviously a 1 point Dijkstra is just pretty crazy. Like, imagine that as a round 3 finisher. Also a 1 strength Iris. You can finish her off with Vandergrift and just get some insane tempo. I mean, a 1 strength for Sabrina is just nuts as it is, right? But also, let's say you have a 1 strength Dijkstra, 1 strength Iris. You put Sabrina in the same row, you Vandergrift, and then that whole row is getting destroyed. And your Iris is going off. And anyway, you can get some nice combos, is what I'm trying to say. But it does go deeper still. This deck thins to 0 as well. But there's other cards that allow us to really get some cool value off Stregobor. Okay, so I'll start off with the silvers. I'm going to go with Stennis. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, you really don't mind. You're losing 2 points if you draw Stennis or Stregobor, right? So a really nice card to draw with Stregobor. You're losing 2 points. Your opponent might be losing like 11 points through like a Nilfgaardian Knight or something of that nature, right? And then also we're using Foltest's Pride. Now, Foltest's Pride is probably a card you would not ideally like to draw with Stregobor. So just in case you don't know, as King Foltest likes to say, it's not the size that counts, but whether it gets the job done. Deal 2 damage to an enemy and move it to the row above. So if you've got a crewman, you repeat its ability, so you can do this up to 3 times at once, which is pretty filthy for your Sabrina. So basically your top row, a lot of the time your opponent's top row is really going to end up quite stacked. And also that's really nice if you've got a Vandergrift. Let's say you Vandergrifted only the top row, you can just keep pushing things up into that weather and getting full value off of it, right? So really nice card, Foltest's Pride. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm losing 9 points if I draw that with Stregobor, and this is a really low tempo play. However, no one, if they see a 1 strength Foltest's Pride, is going to go, oh, I need to destroy that, right? Most likely. You've got Siege Masters. So Siege Masters are basically Foltest's Pride's best friend. So healer, ally bronze or silver machine, repeats ability. Now the only silver machine you can use this with is Foltest's Pride. So let's say he's at 1 strength. These Siege Masters are just going to go ahead and put him back up to 10. And your Stregobor's basically been absolutely no worries at all, because you're getting, not only are you healing it, that 9 points, but you're getting the damage off it, but also the utility of the movement, which, as you can see in this deck with Sabrina, with Vandergrift, is really nice. Okay, Battering Ram's there, Sabrina's best friend. You can just get some insane combos with these. And these are also like the best card, as well as the Reinforced Ballistas for Vandergrift. You deal 3 damage to an enemy if it's destroyed. You know what Battering Rams do. But the interesting thing, 4 strength, you can do 4 damage, 3 damage, or 5 damage, depending on how many crewmen. And that is really nice for Vandergrift and Sabrina. You can really sort of play a bit of chess on your opponent's side of the board and try and line up some nice plays, really. These are just essential cards. Obviously, they're a Henselt target. However, you realistically, these are like your last choice in Henselt. Okay, so getting back on, again, you pull this with Stregobor. Who's going to destroy it? No one. You Siege Master it. Sorted. It's like nothing ever happened. Siege Towers. Imagine pulling this with Stregobor, right? A Siege Tower. It goes down to 1 strength. You put it down, it's at 3. No one's going to destroy it. And then you Siege Master it, and suddenly it's, what, like 12 points? It's pretty good. Your opponent's getting a 1 strength card, don't forget. Of it, there is a risk that your opponent draws a spy. That has to be said. However, was using Quedwini Knights. Now, these obviously not really a card you would be interested in drawing with Stregobor, but these are our predominant Henselt target. So yeah, that's basically the one concern you have. And that is your bronze package. Pretty simple. You've got four Henselt targets. Yeah, 4 Henselt targets, and that is pretty much it. Oh, I almost forgot the recons, right? So the recon, obviously, it's pretty much auto include, but also this is just increasing your chances of Strebio drawing any of your spies really, because he can't draw special cards, only units. So yeah, last 2 gold cards. You're not going to be using Selkirk. Anyone work out why? You definitely don't want to be using Selkirk. So if you use Strebio and you draw Selkirk, you're just, yeah, concede pretty much, you know. It's not going to be ideal. So I've got a card that's going to shock you. However, one that won't shock you is Shani. Shani obviously can be used on Prince Stennis traditionally. However, your main target here is Fortress Pride. You can also use it on Strebio as well, which is pretty interesting. Not had a chance to do that just yet. However, definitely worth a consideration in certain situations, especially if you know you've got a lot of spies in your deck. Just worth noting, this deck does sort of overthin, so you don't actually want to Shani Stennis most of the time. In SI it goes only to 2 rounds, but yeah, just be very wary that currently this deck is overthinning. There might be a few changes to it as well, like this is really, really early doors for this deck. Now, the last card, Avalak. I know, weird. Helps the deck thin, you draw to 0, which is incredibly important for Sabrina, but most importantly really that Avalak is doing, apart from that, which is huge, is he's just increasing the length of the round, which Sabrina loves. Also, you've got weather with Vandergrift, right? So a longer round is going to be really nice. And also, the fact that he's, even if you don't have the weather, he's just every turn getting more value, right? Because you're dealing 1 damage to all enemies, and if it's destroyed. But you're dealing 1 damage to all enemies. So he's like a Stanwell for Tremors on a 7-point body. So this is the deck. Honestly, so far on stream, we've played about 3 or 4 games of it, and it has just been so much fun. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for more. But let's go ahead and get into a game. Ooh. Okay, first game we're queuing up into. I forgive you. We are just going for it straight away, and we are up against Jan Calvate. So we're like at rank 19 currently. So obviously you just want to be careful with your Henselt. You can see already we've got all 4 golds, which I mean that's pretty damn nice, right? So we're going to kick the Knight, of course, and then I'm going to kick the Battering Ram. Like I said previously, this is sort of your least optimal Henselt target, because you would ideally like some Battering Rams for round 3 for Sabrina, but just worth noting, you can obviously shiny a Battering Ram, so if you need to, you can. And then I'm just going to kick the Siege Tower as well, as the Siege Masters, again, you don't really want to Henselt these round 1, maybe round 3 if you've got Pride on the board, but these are really nice for your Fortress Pride and Sabrina. So let's see what we draw our last card. Oh, hello there, Sabrina. So obviously you're a Henselt deck, so there is a very real option of dry passing, and I'm going to take it. I mean, my hand's not too bad. I've got a pretty slim chance of bricking my draws. Looks like we're playing up against a... Ooh, we're actually playing up against a reveal tempo deck. Obviously against the likes of Alchemy, they are going to just need to populate their graveyard, so play into the round, which suits us. But honestly, if this guy just goes for it, we're feeling pretty good. He can see my Avalak, which he's going to be pretty... maybe concerned, maybe just confused about it. I'm not actually going to risk any mulligans here. I don't want to draw into Quedwini Knights, to be honest. And he is going to play into this here. Just need to be careful with Igni and things like that.
Anyone asks.
But yeah, let's just go ahead and try and find a Knight of Quedwin. Hello. Quedwini Knight comes down on the board. And I think in this matchup I'm pretty safe to not worry about Scorch. I think I'm just going to go for it. Maybe that is going to turn out to bite me in the bum, but I think we should be good. Right. Obviously, you just want to get all this stuff out before my main man Avalak comes down. But yeah, let's. So already you can see like Vandergrift as well, the potential. I can hit this golem, and then that's a 1 strength to Darlan Soldier, and then I've got 1 row already of Ragnaru. Do I want to go for that? I mean, there is a temptation. I think I'm going to go for the Battering Ram. To be fair, I may as well go for the revealed one, right? We'll put the Battering Ram down, we'll set that to 1 strength, and then Vandergrift can come down. If he does continue playing for much longer, we probably do just go for that Vandergrift. You want to force him out of this round really as soon as possible. Don't be worrying about using your Henselt. The objective Henselt is just to get yourself to this long round 3 with Sabrina. Good to go still. The only real counter they've got for her in Nilfgaard, apart from Mandrake, is... Oh, and there's Seret. So that's kind of, you know, not ideal. We don't like to see that too much, but... yeah, I'm really kind of just thinking, do I just go for 2 rows of Ragnaru here? It's pretty tempting, right? It's pretty tempting. I think I'm just going to call this second battering ram in, and then my Shani is going to be a battering ram most likely later down the line. Let's do it. He's obviously going to be pretty suspicious by the fact that I've not taken that one extra point on the back row. He might see what's happening there. But yeah, let's just get this Vandergrift going down pretty sharp-ish. And then obviously, if I have to use my Henselt as well, I have to use my Henselt. It's not the end of the world. So Ragnar is really nice for... if he doesn't pass, I'll probably Henselt here, honestly, and just keep my card. So he does pass. We force him out. We've still got our Henselt. We've, you know, it's not ideal, like having this card, for instance, but we've got Sabrina, super long round achieved, and I've still got my my Quadroni Knight. So we've basically used Vandergrift over using our Henselt here, but it's a nice long round. So far, so good, really. I'm going to go for the recon. What do I want? I guess I want to go for the battering ram, really. And then I'm just going to be shining a battering ram. Seems fine to me, to be fair. He didn't get any buffs up on Yankave either, so he seems good. You can see, like, you've got a lot of ability with that Vandergrift to just force him out of the round. Obviously, he's not got a weather clear. We maybe could have done it better to try and maintain our card, but I'm pretty happy overall going into such a long round with Sabrina. Obviously, this one strength Avalak is pretty sad, but hopefully it doesn't prove to be too much of an issue. Now, you might have also noticed I have butched my Henselt unless I shiny this Quadroni Knight. Now, that is also a bit of a problem because then how am I going to kill my dear friend Sabrina? It's not gone great. I mean, it looks like basically I've messed up obviously with my draws here, and this is where like Avalak sort of causing me a bit of grief, right? I think I'm just going to have to take my Henselt value still.
Well, it's war.
And this is sort of one of those ones where I'm like, maybe I should have just Henselted last round, right, and worried about the rest a little bit later on. So, yeah, let's just take our Henselt value now.
You want peace?
Like I say, unfortunately, we are going to be struggling of killing Sabrina as long as we hit Full Test Pride, which you will do, as you do Thin Zero, but obviously the Guardian could just cause us a little bit of a problem there. Cantarella on that back row is looking a bit frightening, but, you know, there's not really too much we can do about that. Let's just hit him with the Avalak. Chilling at one point. No sign of Strobel yet either. Now these siege towers are like your other good target for Henselt, especially against Scorch decks and Viper Witches. These like your go-to. And there's the Igni. That's kind of unfortunate. But I mean, what can you do? Let's put just him down and just see where this game goes. So as you can see, we've really not thinned as much as I would have liked to have, which is sort of weird, really. But we've still got one recon left. We've still got Stennis. When I have played this deck, we have Thin to 0 every time. So, doesn't look like that's going to happen, though, it's fair to say. I'm just going to go ahead and put Dijkstra in this middle row here. Okay, so here's Strobel. Let's see what we get. Is it going to be like an Iris? Is it going to be Thala? Thala's probably our best bet of winning this game here. Because we've got Stennis here as our other card. But we would love to see a Spy here. Full Test Pride. Not really what you're looking for, to be fair. But again...
I'm not afraid.
Huh. So my ordering's been a bit dodgy. Right? We can see if we can still win, though. We can see if we can still win. We've got the 1.4 Test Pride. It's all gone pear-shaped. 3 cards left in the deck. You know, not ideal. One of them's Iris, one of them's Thala. So we've definitely not drawn into our best cards, and a lot of that was due to how I've played the game. But let's see. Who knows? It's still all to play for, really. Let's just... not do anything drastic. Let's just get these siege towers down. We're not worried about Igni anymore. I guess I should be worried about Letho Regis, but I'm not. It's all just going to come down to what value I get on my dear friend Gleesovic.
Now, how did that
Fog comes down. Not really ideal, it's fair to say. I guess I just keep playing into this row for the crewman, really, though, to be fair. I don't really see why I wouldn't. So, yeah. Igni's gone. Not really worried about it. So obviously there's a 1 strength unit in the middle row. If I started Vandergrift, that would be really nice. But I have to kill Sabrina with Full Test Pride. That is really important not to forget. That is my only way of killing her. So it's going to take 2 hits on Sabrina. Which basically means the top row has to, I repeat, has to be my my Sabrina row. Because I'm killing it with Full Test Pride, right? It pushes things up. Now, what you might also notice that's pretty cool, we've got the Stregobor target of Aside down in that back row. So you can really see that the Sabrina's looking really nice. But obviously the Vandergrift right now, if I still had him, that's huge. And I've put in absolutely zero effort to do so, which is really cool. So I've tried, it's still worth trying this deck maybe in a, imagine if you still had Igni. In a Cursed Northern Realms deck, you could try something as well. Obviously you've got the Cursed Knights that can reset a unit. I mean, I probably should have played him down, really, shouldn't I, in fairness. But anyway, let's start pushing up the biggest units to this top row here. So, if Foltest Pride dies, it's over. Simple as that. But let's, yeah, I mean, I guess we push you up. Seret slightly better, right? So we push Seret up. Seret wasn't better. What am I talking about? I'm talking rubbish. But anyway, we'll see if we can still do it despite all. He could definitely... Oh, he gets rid of a Sire. A very bad draw. But then you still got the beauty of Foltest Pride. There's no 1 strength units here, but I can just easily bump this Alchemist up or just hit Igni twice, right? I mean, I guess it makes slightly more sense to bump the Alchemist up. And look at that. The Stregobor just basically didn't actually make a difference for us. Okay, so Sabrina's going to go down. A very tame Sabrina. We'll put her in the top row. That Nilfgaardian Knight is going to get pushed. We'll put her in the bottom row rather, so hopefully he puts something up in the top row still. He's going to be thinking I'm taking this bottom row as my Stregobor. Imagine if I had Vandergrift as well. Still, triple Vandergrift on that row. Pretty filthy. So here we go, the moment of truth. Have we got enough points? Well, let's find out. We're going to obviously hit the Nilfgaardian Knight up first, and then Sabrina's going to get taken out. Back row gets set to 1. The suboptimal plays, but look how far ahead we were despite all. We got to that long round with Sabrina, and just as the drilling's starting, oh god, oh goodness. Are we going to win? My cat's not enjoying the drilling either. Of course we do. Look at that. I played pretty badly, but you know, you can see this deck's actually got a lot of potential. Thanks so much for watching. Check it out again tomorrow. More tomorrow. The drilling is pretty loud. No, seriously, thanks for watching. That drilling's sort of upset my flow. I was going to do another game, but I'll be back with some more tomorrow. See you guys then. Adios.